when you're out shopping for a car and you realize that you're looking, thank you so much, for cars that are available at a good price, you realize it's extremely challenging because you go to a new car dealer and they have nothing in stock. You go to a used car dealer and they have a bunch of cars that are drab, maybe damaged, maybe something they happened to get off of the auction lot that they should have left there. And you're looking at the prices and you're realizing, wow, we are in a massive inflationary environment. You also go in there and you give them your typical offer, which, you know, if you've been listening to this channel, you know that you go in and you try to make an aggressively low or ridiculously low offer, see how low they can go, walk out, go back, do some negotiating. But they still don't come down that far because there's not much inventory out there to begin with, and they're going to try to milk every penny out of that car that they can. We don't blame them. We would probably do the same thing if it was us on that side of the transaction. However, since we're looking to get a good deal in this environment, the tactics that you might want to start looking at using are walking around town, checking the parking lots, checking on cars that are parked next to the road that might have a for sale sign, and inquiring about those cars. You've seen in prior videos where we've seen cars that were parked out in some retail establishment's parking lot. That's a good place to start as well. However, many times you'll be driving through a neighborhood and you'll see a car in somebody's driveway with a for sale sign on it. Well, that is an excellent place to look for a car, especially if it's in a decent neighborhood where you know that they potentially have money to maintain and keep the car going and maintained, so you can find a car hopefully at a pretty good price. So you call those numbers and you inquire and you go check those out, and then you would be able to work out some special deal with them because they are an individual. They're not a dealership. They're not in the game, the negotiating game that the dealership is in. So you can have a more down-to-earth discussion with them about the price, about the condition of the car. You can get the VIN number. You can work that VIN number through the system. They understand. You can talk to them like one human being talks to another and come to an agreement on the price that will work for you. Usually you don't have to use the tactics that we talk about with dealing with a dealership. You can be a little bit more of a light touch with them, the individual that's selling that car, because they have regular feelings like everybody else. They're a human being and they deserve respect. So you can actually attempt to drive a pretty hard bargain with them as long as you keep the discussion mannerly and polite and fairly honest. I mean, there's no reason why you would be dishonest with a person like that. They should be honest with you, and you should be able to ask any question about anything. The main big things you want to make sure you talk to an individual owner about, besides the condition of the car and if they're the original owner, or if they're aware of any prior damage or accidents, is to ask them for the title, to take a look at the title and make it sure it's a clear title for the state that you're in. And every state has a little bit different rules on that, but for the most part, you're going to look for a title that does not say rebuilt or say other problematic classifications. Now, that's not always a deal breaker, but you tend to know that the car is not going to be pristine if there are some issues like that on the title. You also want to look at that title and make sure that the person's name is on there. If there's just their name, then you know you're dealing with the right person to sell you the car, because they're the ones that are going to have to sign that title over to you. And if there's two people on that title, such so-and-so and so-and-so, you know, husband and wife or what have you, they both have to sign the title. So they both have to be there if it's one person and the other person. If it says or, then either one can sign. But you want to check that title out to make sure that those parts of the title are clear, understood by you, and also to make sure that they understand what they need to do when it comes time to actually sign the car over to you once you make the purchase. And then once that title is signed over to you as the new owner, you will be able to feel confident that you now own the car, because once you take possession of the title and you have possession of the keys in the car, you have full possession of that car. Now, you want to go in pretty quickly to your Bureau of Motor Vehicles, or whatever the name is in your state. Make sure you get that title transferred over into your name pretty quickly so that there's no question about who owns that car. But basically, when you hold the title that's been signed over and you have the car in your possession, you're driving it, have the keys, then that car is yours. So that's a little bit of some extra information for you to use in your car search. And check out the rest of our videos where we talk about different ways of finding cars that appeal to you, tactics that you can use for making a negotiation happen to get the best deal for the car that you're trying to find, and having fun looking around, checking things out, and giving some tips along the way to help you on your car search. Make sure you like us, share us, and subscribe would be nice. Till next time.